You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones and Hello, family. This is the Billy E. Jones Talk Beat Jones show. I am Billy E. Jones, and it's a wonderful day today. It's wonderful. It's very, very, very hot, humid. But you know, if you got those achy, tired bones, you don't mind having a little heat to make you feel better. But you don't want your power to go out. And some folks have had power to go out, and they're suffering. They're suffering. So if you have family members, you have friends that are on air, you know, they need air, they need special equipment to keep them alive, and they need their electricity, check on them. Check on them, because even though they may have a backup system, for the time that the electricity has been out in parts of Detroit, those backup systems have backed out. So let us make sure we check on our family and our friends. Otherwise, it's a wonderful time to be alive. Why? Because every day that's given is a day that gives you the opportunity to become greater, better, stronger. That's the way we are here. And again, you are watching the Billy E. Jones Talk Beat Jones show. Remember, you can call us at 313-868-0342. And when you do that, that number will roll over. I have two other numbers, but I just want family to know, new folks, that you have the option. You can watch the programs, you can listen to the programs, and you can participate by calling 313-868-0342. Now, we understand that on this Sunday, we have some wonderful, great competition. Wow. Wow. And we are kind of like the new kids, new men or man on the block on a Sunday. And so we're going to step it up, make it real good for you, make it real good that you want to make this a part of your programming, make you may want to go from one station to another station, to this call, to that call. Maybe have a cell phone and a house phone, and while you're waiting to get on that line or that station or this station, you can call this number and call and talk here. Oh yeah, we want to get you busy on a Sunday, so that when you see it back on a Sunday night, yeah, the Talk Beat Jones show, we're showing back on Sunday nights from 8 to 9:30 and other times. But if you want to know specifically when you can watch on a Sunday from 8 to 9:30, and if you want to participate or you want to catch it fresh, straight out the mouth from the Talk Beat Jones guy, Dr. Talk, Billy E. Jones, you tune in early on a Sunday. That's from 8:30 until 10. Now, I had folks who have texted me, asked me questions, and of course, as I mentioned, when you text me a question or a problem or a situation, I will get back with you. So the number to text me and get my information or give me your information is 313 412 3111. That's my number. Text me your information or your question, and I will get back with you. And I find that that's the easiest way for me to not be having to try to run to a lot of calls that I can't identify. And I'll tell you, I'm getting calls from all over the world. And so I've learned, don't pick up all these calls. You got all of these situations of people that are scamming. And sometimes when you get these calls, and all you have to do is answer the call or call back, and you will pick up charges. You can pick up charges just because you're curious. And not only will that happen, but there is a organized group of a business that is trying to sell stuff, and if you don't want it, then what they will do is give your number, have your number passed through their computer chain, so that you're starting to receive all of these calls from all across the United States, from all across the world, just to bug you. Just to bug you. Put them in your contact and call it scam. So every time that number comes up, you know it's a scam. And it'll save you a lot of time, a lot of effort. You know, let's look at something that's happened to a judge or a judge. In our country, in our world, we talk about the black man, the black woman, and how oppressed we are. We can think about years ago when there was a white boy that was, the judge said, no, he's too pretty to go to jail, so we're going to let him off. We thought that was like, what? Huh? So now we had a judge that had a young man that raped a young girl, but the judge said, this young man comes from a good family. He's doing well in school, and I'm sure he's going to have a wonderful career. And this would put too much of a blemish on his life. And he was putting him on probation, letting him go. Fortunately, that community got together and told the judicial system that's not going to go, that's not going to work, and forced them to go after that judge, and finally made that judge to resign off the bench. Now we have all of these things that's going on with people of power and authority, and we wonder, why is it that so many black people are in jail? Why is so many black people in jail? And some people, you know, put black folks in jail behind some real ridiculous, stupid stuff. Jaywalking? Did I hear somebody had to go to jail for jaywalking in Detroit? And let's take Detroit for just a moment or three here. We're talking about the fact that Detroit has not enough police officers on the force. Well, my question is, you only graduate X amount of police officers from your academy. And yet, let's go back and look. Every year, how many police officers are you having to kick off the force because they are committing crimes? Every year, you're losing police officers that are veterans on the police force. So your numbers, you may get 5, 10, 15 officers out the academy that you know within 2 years they're going to be going someplace else because of the higher pay. But the officers that you do have, you're finding they are doing some crooked things. How could an officer go through the prospect, and we've heard about these things in years past, where officers is going to tell a young lady, I won't give you a ticket if I get your number and I can come see you, while he has pulled her over. While he has pulled her over, he wants to get her telephone number and try to come and get with her. Fortunately, two of the ladies that this particular officer pulled this trick with came forward. I mean, drug dealing. I mean, it's, what can we say when we are supposedly respectful of the people who are our officers? And we have all of these folks who are on the force that are doing these underhanded things that's costing this city the money and the benefits that they have been receiving while they've been doing the underhanded things. Now, as you know, all of us can tell you and tell us how wonderful many of our police officers are. I can say that as well. I've gotten some breaks, and I say, thank you, officer. You know, but they say if you got apples and that one apple at the bottom starts going rotten and you start to get everything else starts to rotten out, and we're finding we got some rotten officers in the police force, and they're being weeded out. But how are we going to continue to weed out officers and bring in new officers, and we're trying to bring the numbers up? How can we do this? How can we get a better training program to understand what the officers will be like in terms of mentally? What is their mental basis? What is it? Why are they doing the things they're doing? When they joined the force, they knew exactly how much money they were going to be making. And if that was not enough money, why become an officer if you felt that you had to do these other things on the side that could get you fired and put the citizens at danger? But all in all, family, that's a part of life. Nothing is perfect. There's always going to be some chinks in the armor. Always. But it just breaks my heart every time I hear about an officer that's committing a crime that's going to cost him or her their position. You go through life and you want to have love. Family member, thank you for calling. This is the Billy Jones Talk B. Jones Show, and you're live. Can I get your first name and your conversation, please?
Yes, this is Sylvia, and I'm watching you on the Fire Stick.
Oh, the Fire Stick.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the Fire Stick, Sonny. Thank you.
Yeah, Fire Stick. It's sad, Billy, that people are set up in high places, and we have criminals in these departments that come out and criminalize innocent people. And so what I think is needed is we need an overseer. We need somebody to oversee the overseers, because a lot of them come with dirty minds and dirty crimes.
That's right.
We have an 87-year-old who locked the police up because he tried to search her house without a warrant.
Oh,
and she was able to sue. 87-year-old Dennis Green locked a police officer in her basement after he tried to search her home without a warrant. Now 90, she sued Baltimore City and won $95K settlement.
Wow. Now she was smart enough. She was smart enough to lock him in the basement.
She was smart enough at 89 to do what she needed to do to save her life. And also there was someone raped, and they sanctioned that rape and said he did nothing wrong.
That's what that's what I'm talking about, Sylvia.
Yeah, we got a lot of those cases that's going on. We have seen things on Facebook where an officer, a white officer, raped a teenager while in lockup, and we actually watched this happen. This is some crazy stuff where the abnormalcy has become the normal.
Yes.
But the Sheriff's Department shamefully defends a horrific roadside rape by a cop caught on his dash cam.
Yes.
And they sanctioned it. So we have to realize that we have criminals in high places that will criminalize and get away with being criminals.
And Sylvia, do you realize that a cash machine is put up through the cities this way? When you're driving, do you realize that as you're coming up and the light turns from green to yellow, that you are supposed to stop? You are
Yes.
not supposed to go through the yellow light.
Yes.
Now,
You know what? I don't doubt that. And the police is out here like police state, and it's starting to look more and more like fascism, authoritarianism, and whatever else isms you can come up with. But it's starting to look like what I call prison planet. The
Well, let me-
police is everywhere,
well, let me-
but they're not where you need them.
well, let me tell you how that works. An officer, anytime they choose, can pull you over once you go through a yellow light.
I believe you.
No, don't have to believe. I'm going to give you the fact. It's called an amber light. They can give you a ticket, and when you go down to have to pay that ticket, they will tell you, we will, the cost to go to court is going to be $140, and it's going to put 3 points on your ticket, on your driver's record.
License.
But here's what we'll offer you. Pay us $175 today. We will drop the charges down so that there will be no record of this ticket, and there's
yeah.
nothing on your record. But you
Yeah.
must pay us $175 today. And
Right.
you should see all of those people, including me,
Stand up.
including me. This is why I'm telling you, I know for a fact
Yeah.
that you go through a yellow light, they can pull you over at any given time. It's like, our department needs more money. Okay, today,
Yeah.
and you know they have this morning thing every day where they have their squad meetings, and they can say, okay, we need to watch those yellow lights a little closer today, which is a code to say we need to get some some more tickets.
Yeah, they're targeting for the trafficking. You think you better start and be on your watch, because I know I'm not going past. Something just told me don't go through a yellow light, Billy, and I saw a cop and I stopped. I was like, because I got a feeling if I pass that light, I'm going to be, like you just explained to everybody, you're going to be out there, you're going to be a cash cow.
That's right. And then you go through, you wonder when you're going out of the communities that are not friendly to black folk.
Ooh,
Huh? So then you wonder how they can target you,
yes.
because they can pull you over any given time. And Lord forbids if you're doing something
Okay.
that you shouldn't be doing in your car.
Anyway,
And then you're upset. Now you're mad. Now you're arguing. And now you can escalate this situation because what? A yellow light? Sylvia had never heard of not being able to go through a yellow light. See, and I'm putting it up here and saying this because I do not believe that we as a people understand in driving through Detroit. I don't know wherever else, but I know in driving through Detroit, I see folks going through the yellow lights all the time, which means that
I've seen people on red lights.
yeah. I mean, that's a norm. We know we're supposed to stop, but the yellow light, yellow. Come on now.
Right,
And the
right.
thing about that, Sylvia, if you stop, if you go in and the yellow light comes up and you stop, guess what that
Right.
person behind you who don't know you're supposed to stop at a yellow light is going to do?
Exactly.
My goodness, what are we going to do,
Yeah.
family?
Yeah. It's a recipe for disaster either way you go.
Yes.
Either you might worry about somebody hitting you from the back because they don't want to stop, or like you said, you'll be a cash cow standing in a long line paying corporate greed who gives a dang about your safety and your needs.
That's right.
But also, Billy, the U.S. law enforcement failed to see the threat of white nationalism. Now they don't know how to stop it.
That's right.
Well, that's because they're probably part of it.
Yes. Well, they went through Facebook, all of these various different throughout the city, throughout the country, I should say, and went through Facebook, and these officers, all of these various officers, departments, etc., and officers exchanging these Facebook posts to each other. And from that, I believe they fired 17 or 22 officers off of one department behind the type of posting that they was doing that was so racist and sexist that they had to go.
They had to go,
Yeah.
but therein lies the mental illnesses that's supposed to be saving your life.
That's right.
4 Chicago police officers were fired over statements they made after Laquan McDonald shooting.
Yes.
This is NBCnews.com.
Yes.
So if anybody want to read and see for themselves, that we got some problems here with people that's supposed to be in the line of duty to serve and protect.
That's right. That's right. You know, and then we go with, which is a process why I bring in the fact that when I watch the police commissioner meetings, and I'm watching the new chair, Ms. Carter, I should say, ask for the commissioner to be removed, the police come in, and rather than just taking him and saying, okay, you need to go outside and go wherever you got to go, they had to go through the process of handcuffing this commissioner and placing him under arrest. Now, how bad is that?
And then he didn't get any charges.
And no charge.
And he probably should turn around and sue.
And Sylvia, now, I would think in a public forum, a public meeting of that sort, if you have a colleague that is somewhat out of order, and if you go through these different commissions, etc., you see it happening all the time, a process in the Robert's Rules of Order allows you to say, okay, let's take a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break so that we can resume order. So if that commissioner or that person is out of order, right, and you going through a timeout, that person's not going to keep on talking to themselves. And if they do, they got 5 to 10 minutes to talk to themselves, and you're not talking to y'all. And also, you have an opportunity to therefore discuss the next step, if there will be a next step, if they continue to be disruptive.
Right.
You don't
Yeah,
have.
it's just like I said. It looks like prison planet. I say it nicely, but the tables are tilted and the games are still rigged. The red, white, and blue D-stick is still using its whip. And they got them in all these different departments and different people that's supposed to be in charge to save are in charge to charge you with fine fees and to enslave. They really don't care about your safety and your protection, your communities, your concerns, or your needs. They're the reason why we got poverty, and they want to keep it that way because somebody is getting rich on keeping you in the ditch.
Oh, and you know what? Keeping us in the ditch, making us rich, and now giving an opportunity. They say now that we've got all the people in places for this cannabis, this marijuana situation. Oh, now we're going to place the cannabis business in some of the higher crime areas. Did you note that?
It's no surprise and that's why people need to learn policies, legislation, and know their rights. Because you go out there and handcuff and think you free now. No, you're not free. You better know your rights. And those who know their rights find out they don't really have no rights because they still do what they do.
That's right. Because again, if they're saying that you got these high crime rates in Detroit, it was one, Benton Harbor, Flint, etc. This is where they say, well, we're going to open it up so that the other folks can get these marijuana businesses. Now think about it. If we got the marijuana medical card business, now we've got the recreational business.
Right.
Guess what? How many times do we have the police pulling you over, and now they're working on making sure they're able to test you, not just for alcohol, but for marijuana consumption as well, because you're not supposed to be driving under the influence.
Yeah, I came in contact with a young couple that was in the car at Whole Foods, and I said, do you know federally that you're not allowed to be smoking and driving? So they was like, I got my marijuana card. I said, yeah, but federal laws trump state laws. And see, that's where lies the problem. People don't know laws, legislation. They don't know. So they out here thinking they free just because somebody said that it's legal.
That's right.
No, you better know your rights before you start thinking you so free. Because, you just have to know before you go.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's a process, and with the powerfulness of the marijuana that they're able to bring today, you're not able necessarily to control your function. That means your ability to control that wheel. And if you're not controlling that wheel, and if you're driving too slow when you're supposed to be going faster,
right.
and they pulling you over, and you just, oh man, I'm just chilling, I'm just relaxing. No, you're not relaxing. You're going to jail.
Right.
And
you gonna be tested.
yeah. And then they got this thing called forfeiture law.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that they could take your property even though they didn't charge you.
Oh, yes, they've been doing that. They have been it's been coming up in a number of cities where they can take your house, your car. If you got money in your pocket, they'll take that. If you got valuables and jewelry and stuff like that, they'll take that. And they won't charge you, but they'll get away with your goods.
That's right. The person that was doing the interruption on, was it 96 or whatever it was, when all those cars was there and they was doing the donuts and stuff.
Yeah.
And the guy with the Hellcat, they got him because they had a prior contact with him. And they said, not a problem, because that Hellcat is going to be ours. That's going to be part of our. We're going to get his for it. That we're going to take that.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
but, Brother Billy, people have to understand every breath in every step.
Yes.
They've been watching you.
That's right.
Without your vote, without your hope, they already got surveillance on you. So you want to protest, you want to reject and resist. You can do that as much as you want because you need to get in the fight to fight for your rights. But at the same time, know that they're doing what they're going to do.
Do you feel that by them moving the Charter Commission folk from being able, because that was one of the big fights initially with the Charter Commission folks, was having the meetings in the various different neighborhoods so that the folks would have an ability to attend these meetings without a problem. To take these meetings now from Carol Weaver is now having it so that they take the meetings from the neighborhood down to, what is that, the
City Council, the Coleman Young Municipal.
So they are right there where the police are, huh?
No, yeah, they got plenty of police down there because, the police, they're going to watch downtown before they watch the neighborhood.
But, again, I mean, so what is that telling the people? You better be good boys and girls, huh? And they're telling the charter commissioners charter review commissioners that if I have a problem with you as the person sitting in the chairperson, you better look around. I got backup. No more of this rushing to the front up here, maybe scaring me. And
yeah, right. I fear for my life again.
Yeah. I mean, so what is that telling the people? It's not saying to the people that we're wanting to listen to you more closer, but the fact that we are somewhat set off from you. Now we are really the elitist group of people. When you come in, you better respect me or we're going to put you out. And the police is right here.
It does not show that you're here for the community, that you work for the people, but it shows that you work for the elitists, the corporate greed, and not the people's concerns or their needs. And what needs to be done, if they cannot stop them from doing this, putting these people meetings in their community, there needs to be some kind of transportation available where the community can get together and travel the people to and from these meetings when they're downtown, where they don't have to worry about being ticketed. But but you still got to go through surveillance before you even get up there. You know how they gonna tap
Well,
you down and all that kind of stuff. But it needs to be a way where the people can come together and get some transportation, buses and vans or whatever, and get those people to and from that meeting, because the people can't stop fighting because they see all these monkey wrenches that's being placed in front of them to keep them from being part of, being part of something that's going to help them and to serve their communities.
So what you're doing is you're stroking the anger. So before folks even walk in that door, there is a source of anger with them already. And the other process, the question is, how is the parking fees to be able to go into that particular meeting where it's located now? Hold on, Carl. I'll get to you. Hold on one moment, Sylvia. Carl, if you hold on one moment, I'll be with you in just one moment, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, please. So, Sylvia, that parking down in that area, how is that?
It's crazy. It's all different prices, and it depends on where you land, where you can get a deal or not. So, like myself, I park in certain places and just people move myself around.
Mm-hmm.
Or I got a bicycle, I can ride my bike, but everybody don't know that, and everybody is not able to do that.
And people don't have money. If you're talking about the folks who are really invested, is the low-income folks, and we really don't have that extra $5, $10, $20 or more to pay for parking. That's why that was the idea of bringing it to the neighborhoods.
$5, but you got to get there before everybody else. If you know about it, you know.
Can you hold one moment, Sylvia?
Yeah.
Thank you. Caller, this is the Billy Jones Talk Beat Jones Show. Of course, every Sunday we're live from 8:30 to 10. We have a rebroadcast on Sunday nights from 8 to 9:30. And we welcome you. Could I get your first name and your conversation, please? Thank you. You're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Thank you.
How you doing? This is Otis Mathis.
Otis.
African Town.
Hey, African Town, how are you doing? Good to hear from you, Otis.
Doing great. Yeah, they know what they're doing because you can tell at the Charter Commission what don't happen is, sorry.
That's okay.
What don't happen is that that bringing them downtown, because mostly there's no white people at the charter meeting. So you know one thing about it, they live downtown. They're in walking distance of the Culminating Young Center.
Okay.
That's one place they show up.
Mm-hmm.
They can show up, but they don't show up. And all in the community is the African Americans who are really being affected by this decision on the Charter Commission, and along with 6 other members that's now being controlled by Dan Gilbert and Mike Duggan. That's the whole idea, is try to break down the number of people in the community that's learning about it. They use excuses like that you got to use the media from the contract from the city as a reason. They use excuses that they had sent back $130,000 that was given to them, and the white female, the only white person on there.
Hold on, Otis. You went something too smooth. You mentioned $130,000, and I did not get the context in which you said they sent it back.
Right.
Who sent it back, sir? I mean, take a little moment and kind of expand on that thought for us.
Well, finally, that the Charter Commission from the city of Detroit has gotten their budget, their funding. And so the first check they got to pay for their office space and printing and things like that, well, they needed like a copying machine, but Carol Weaver and the white female, who's the treasurer,
Peters.
decided.
You talk about Peters,
right? Peters, who decided to send $130,000 of that back to the city of Detroit, saying they didn't need it. So by doing that, they didn't get a copying machine. They stopped those 3 Small, Underwood, and I can't think of Barbara's name, the older lady.
Barbara.
From getting information and make copies to share with the community. And so you don't normally get money and send it back. You use it or you lose it. They're not even losing it. They're sending it back.
So the question there is that if the city had determined that they had $130,000 to put for the use by the charter people, why, in your estimation, would the fact that the materials needs to be copied and yet there's a machine that can be bought for the Charter Commission as group as a whole to utilize, why would they not want that machine to be purchased, to be utilized for various copying purposes?
The same reason why they're talking about holding all the charter meetings down at the Coleman A. Young Center downtown. It's to deprive people of knowledge, especially African Americans. Because when you look at the audience, even on those other stations, it shows you that it's just primary 90+% African American. And so it's not that whites are not getting it, they're getting the information. Carol Weaver, Richard Mack, and them are sitting behind closed doors with the whites, especially in the downtown community.
Was
They just wanna
Garcia
stop information going to the African American community.
was Garcia was he the attorney, legal counsel that was chosen to represent the charter folks?
Garcia. You know what? I'm bad with names. I don't remember him and that staff person who, I don't know where the staff person came from to make the $110,000 along with the attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, but mostly they just sit there quiet because they are supposed to now work for Carol Weaver, which I don't understand how that's not being challenged in court.
Well, you know, see, I keep asking the question is, all of these were elected folks, and did we understand that the person that was being put into the chair seat had their own power as a monarch person to make these decisions independently, to fire, like the moderator that was there to try to help heal the folks and get to the bottom what was wrong, why they were not working as a group of folks that can come to decisions that are ethical in terms of everybody working together. And when it was found that Carol says, you're fired because you seem to be taking the other folks' position, talking about Underwood and Small and Barbara, their position. And she fired her. And there was no recourse to the other commissioners. And for that meeting that they held to try to do help us understand how we can work better together, Richard Mack skipped that meeting as well.
Well, if you notice, even if you see videos of things, Richard Mack is always whispering in Carol Weaver's ear. And in the last meeting I was at, I didn't realize that he was sending her text messages. I thought they was passing notes. And then people said, no, he's texting her the answers. Richard Mack is not only using the Charter Commission, he's using Carol Weaver. Because remember, when this is over with, someone's going to have to look like they have the ability to make moves against the residents of the city of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, Carol Weaver do not have that ability. And everyone can see it, like she's having a nervous breakdown.
Okay.
And so when Richard Mack sits next to her, which he shouldn't be, well, now with technology, he don't have to, but he shouldn't be, he's using her. She's having a nervous breakdown, and he's looked at as the power broker. Because when they recommended to have all the meetings downtown at the Coleman A. Young building, Richard Mack made an amendment to it, that they cancel all Saturday meetings.
That they cancel all they cancel all Saturday meetings?
Yeah, the fourth Saturday of the month. They meet twice. They normally have been meeting twice a month.
Right.
Second Tuesday in the evening and Saturday at 12 noon in the community.
Okay.
So when the white female and the brother that didn't show up, Jones, who the white female said Jones wrote that they should not have, if they, what did he write? He wrote something about them changing the meetings. So what happened was Richard Mack he made an amendment that to cancel Saturday meetings, period, because they can't videotape on Saturday with the city videotaping people. But
well, if you go backwards to the meetings sometime past, Richard Mack wanted to get out of those meetings because he has things that he wants to do with his son on those particular days.
Well, Well, that's what I say. I say that at the speaker. I say that in comments. I said Richard Mack is trying to raise college money for his children.
Okay.
It's different when he didn't have it. Like one guy who worked with it, and I didn't know Richard Mack taught labor law, asked the question, what did you do for labor when the emergency manager, when you got paid to fight the emergency manager? They can't point their finger to nothing. I said, Richard Mack kids are getting older, and he's trying to get money for their education. So he's selling out the city. He sold out labor, and he teaches labor law. The gentleman who knew Richard Mack was talking about going to his class.
Wow.
Doing great. How you doing?
Hold on 1 minute, just a moment. Sylvia?
He's absolutely right. I had told y'all from when they was going through the voting process that y'all don't need to trust him, Richard Mack, because I saw how he handled the bankruptcy thing. He didn't give a rat's A about the people and their pensions being ripped off.
Wow.
He's absolutely right about Richard Mack. You got the heartless and the soulless out there, and they can be bought at any level.
And you know, when I was speaking earlier, and I'm coming right back to you, Otis, when I was speaking earlier about folks, when we get on the telephones, as we're doing now in the air, and we're bringing conversations, well, we have folks who support Carol Weaver and Richard Mack, etc. But you don't hear those folks calling in and saying anything that is going to defray or take away from what is being said negatively about them. Because why? They have it, what they say, oh, we got this. We've got the votes. We don't care what the other folks say. They can tell us 90% of the folks who come to the meetings is black, but guess what? Only 20-something% of the black folks in Detroit vote. So, and we look and we always ask the question, well, if they got X amount of votes, why is it that we don't have those white folks at the meeting? I don't have to come to the meeting if I got my people in place.
They don't have to come to the meeting. You're right, because they got their planted.
Hold on, Sylvia. Otis?
Yes.
Yes, you're back, sir.
True.
Thank you.
Because you see 6-3, they got their people in place. It don't
Yes.
make no difference how long you protest. What we should be doing out here is going in these districts, breaking these districts down to 7 districts, as they are through the city council, and start registering people to vote, especially the young people. And now that we're allowed to vote absentee for no reason, we should vote absentee. Stop being scared they're going to steal your vote. That's what they want you to feel. Stop being scared. And another thing, we should put a lockdown and try to figure out how really to count those votes, watch those votes.
Well, here, and I'll come right back to you, Otis, is that we had, not we, but on a popular program here at TV 33, we had the city clerk, Janice Winfrey, here. And the question that folks was asking about, why is it that Detroit's votes are never counted by a certain time, the official votes? And she explained that Detroit's votes is always there by a certain time, always, but the official vote is later tabulated, and she had another guy named George, I don't remember his last name, who actually puts out the official, the state or whatever, will put out the final votes. And there was no challenge to this. So
No, there was challenges.
Okay.
I mean, Tom Barrow's challenged it, and others over the years have challenged it.
No,
But they couldn't do it by city, the cost of paying for it citywide.
Okay.
Every precinct. You got to pay for that.
Wow,
Challenge
okay.
it.
Okay. So there's still a concern, and then I want you to go back into what you were saying, but there's still a concern about the actual counting of the votes, et cetera, and that's still a mystery to some folks?
Correct. That's the problem is, say, for example, using a round number of 100,000 votes. So it's at the end of the day, 8 o'clock, all polls closed. Hello, how you doing? Good morning. All polls are closed. And then your 100,000 come in. Next thing you know is that you got the spoiled ballot. Say 10,000 of them is spoiled. Then you got what some people feel, especially with write-ins or a group of ballots that has the same person, maybe only one person, like the mayor they vote for. It's fraud. So you got to prove that. So you got to pay to have each precinct, not each voting poll, each precinct. So you count you have them counted, and then, that's when the hanky-panky happens. So that's why we need to teach people, go to federal, ask Jimmy Carter to come in, and to figure out how do we really stay on it. What are our laws that we can protect ourselves to watch these votes being counted? But another thing they have, like the Charter Commission, they got the city law department and other private lawyers that is paid for. The people don't put money.
That's the person.
Lawyers.
That's the person there that I was speaking of, Garcia.
Well, not him. The city's law department.
Oh, now doesn't he?
Attorneys. See, Duggan and them, the city. And remember this, that the council also is leery because you can make a decision to take away some of their power in the charter. So they are tied with Mike Duggan also. So they're using the city taxpayer resources against the taxpayers to fight the three people from the People's Slate that was elected to the Charter Commission.
And let me do this real quick. Let me do this real quickly.
We don't have any money to get lawyers.
Let me do this real quickly. I continue to throw out the name Garcia. And I'm kind of in a fog as to if that is the correct person.
I don't know his name.
I don't either.
He was with the emergency manager. That's all I know. He
Manager. And the person that they hired, I'm trying to put them together to say the person that the Charter Commission person hired is the same person that works at the law department.
No.
No. Okay. Thank you for correcting me.
You're right.
Appreciate it.
The Charter Commission paid him $110,000. They went to the very top of the pay.
Why would you, with the option, because I would think that that's somewhat of an incentive to make sure that you are on your P's and Q's doing your job, to say, okay, we're going to start you at this level here, and we'll do the evaluation, and we'll move you up as we continue to do the evaluations. Now, why would they skip that process and put that person at the maximum from the very beginning?
Because he helped bankrupt the city. He helped the emergency manager get money, get paid, get long-term contracts for Dave Jones. The same thing that Archer did for the law firm he had when he said he's not a part of that law firm as mayor. And when he left, they gave, a 10-year, $20 million contract. And I'm just thinking, just throwing some numbers out.
So did Carol Weaver work with him, with the emergency manager?
He don't even work. He sit there. He make $110,000, and him and the staff person, they just sit there.
Hold on a moment. Hello, this is the Billy Jones Talk Beat Jones show. I want to thank you for calling, and could I get your first name, your conversation, please? Hold on, Otis. Hold on, Sylvia. I'll be back with you shortly. My time is getting short. Please talk to me.
Yeah, this is Jay. I just want to say I'm glad to see you still on the air, Billy Jones.
Thank you.
I haven't seen on there, man. You're great. And I know I haven't talked to you in a while. I just wanted to call and say, man, I'm glad to see you still on there.
Well, my man, thank you. I'll be on the air every Sunday from 8:30 to 10. Also, on Monday, I come on the air with the hair doctor from 8 to 9 a.m. with the hair doctor, and also J.P. Morgan. We're three people that make that show happen. Okay.
All right, man.
All right.
I just want to ask you a question.
Please,
is Reverend Shabazz still on the air?
I have no idea. I have no contact in terms of what he's doing with his business.
Oh, you don't host his show no more?
No, I've left that show almost 2 years ago.
Oh, wow, man. That was a great combination, man.
Okay. Well, that
was a great combination, man. Y'all work together great, man. I hate to hear that.
Well,
you had that stuff going.
Well, anyway, everybody's their own person, and I think that the community should understand that Billy E. Jones is his own person. I have nobody to follow, to lead me. I lead myself. Thank you.
You're great by yourself. But I said together, y'all was greater.
We're not together. Okay. That's good. Thank you, bro. Mm-hmm. Bye
All
now.
right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Otis, we have about 2 minutes before I've got to go with you.
Oh.
Hello?
Yes.
Otis, you want to do a closeout real quick before I let Sylvia do her closeout?
Yeah, I think that in the African-American community, they talk about we all try to do the same thing. I think those who like protesting, standing, and those who should do that. Those who like researching should do that. Those who like organizing in the community, they talk about it, but we need to be about it.
Need to
You
be
know
about
what?
it.
When African Town, we're going to start walking door to door, find out what skills we have inside these houses that don't come out. Don't
Well,
come
I
to
tell you
Charlotte.
what, Otis, I'll call you, and we'll find out if we can find a date that you can take off your busy schedule and come to the studio once again and bring us up to date on what you're doing with African Town, as well as comment on the presidential election and other various different things going on in Detroit. Is that okay?
That's fine.
I appreciate you, brother. And again, you got great information. You are a historian in the city of Detroit because you rattle off things so quick, so smooth. That's why sometimes I say, bro, slow down and repeat that because we don't want to miss the things you're saying. I'll call you and we'll set up some time, okay?
All right.
Appreciate you
Have a
calling,
good
Otis.
day.
Mathis, thank you. Sylvia, I got 2 minutes. You want to give us your last? And I appreciate you calling today.
Yeah, I just ran into Tom at the meeting last week, and so we need to get in tune and educate to liberate because they're still rigging and bidding on our votes. So I usually vote early. You get a chance to vote early, and you don't have to worry about whether they're counting or dismissing your votes or not.
Mm-hmm.
But all I can say to everybody is we need to get out there, educate to liberate, because that's the only way we're going to navigate. Thank you for taking my call.
Let me ask you a quick question real quick. Why do you think in today's time we'll have some activist type persons that will call and talk on the radio or talk on television time and will tell folks, you don't have to vote. Our votes is never going to count. And we'll go back through the history and show you why we shouldn't count, how it doesn't work. And why is it that those people feel so strongly still today that they shouldn't have to vote and want to influence others not to vote?
Well, I understand why they feel that way because I felt that way, but I say you still have to fight. You have to fight the system to a point that if there is rigging and digging, you got to be in that fight to stop that fight.
That's right. That's right. And I tell you, I used to have a suburb apartment as such, and I gave that up to make sure that I registered address in Detroit. Why? Because you can talk that talk,
Yep.
but if you're registered out of Detroit, you can't fight the fight. And I want to fight the fight. And I did that many, many, many years ago. Cost me money, but so what? I want to get dirty. I want to get down. I want to get bloody because I want to give some blood.
Well, they say freedom ain't free.
Hey, I tell you what, Mr. J.D. Hill used to tell us all the time, freedom ain't free and Detroit ain't free.
That's right.
So
You got to make it what you want it to be.
that's right, and I love you and I appreciate you so very much, and hopefully you'll talk with me next week. And don't forget, tonight, Sunday nights, the show is repeated, so you're going to have a chance to hear it all in full, living color, from 8 until 9:30 tonight, okay?
Okay, great show. I will listen because I wanted to listen to more of what your last caller was saying.
Okay, and again, I think that you and Otis make a good combination of bringing back and forth information, and I like that. I really do. Thank you both. Thank you all.
Okay,
and my
thank
man
you.
that called me about me and Malik, that's years ago history. And
yeah,
we
that's
both,
history.
we moved on, and everybody's all happy. He's doing what he's doing, and
Yeah, I think they on 910 too.
yeah, and, you know what he told me? He told me one time. I won't tell you. It's all right.
I know.
Anyway, we love you, appreciate you, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Okay?
Peace and beat the heat.
Ooh, my goodness. Do it, girl. Bye now. Okay. So, family, once again, Mr. HT. All right. That time, call me. Remember, this is Billy Jones, Talk Beat Jones. And again, every Sunday from 8:30 to 10, and on Sunday nights from 8 to 9:30. And don't forget, call me, 313-412-3111. No, don't call me, text me, and I'll answer you. Gotta go, love you, appreciate you, got nothing but mad respect for you. Hi, Mom. Go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones, and